Well, I had an old friend stop by this morning, and he was like, "Well, I didn't know if you went to prison or not." And I said, "No, they gave me 3 years probation." "Well, how come you ain't been by?" I said, "Well, he's reaching in his trunk at the same time to grab a beer and offer me a beer this morning." And I said, "We don't drink over here no more." I said, "I don't drink anymore. I ain't gonna do drugs anymore. And I ain't been by because you got too many uh, people over there doing things that I don't want to be around." And he says, "Well, you don't got to do that stuff if you come by, you know." And, yeah, I just, I know myself. And there's nothing over there at your house for me. If you want to stop by and see me, that's fine. He goes, "So you ain't been drinking?" I said, "No, I got 65 days clean and sober today." "Well, I knew you hadn't been by in a while." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Now you're back to where you used to be when I first met you." I said, "Yep." I said, "I'm going to stay this way." He means sober. When I first met him, actually, when I first met him about 6, 7 years ago, I was actually uh, growing my own marijuana and doing drugs and drinking and everything, but I didn't like, hang out with him a bunch or nothing. And it wasn't until we had already moved from this town to another town and came back and then moved back out here by where he lives that I even ended up going over there to his house. And I worked for him for a little bit. I did a little work for him, and we did some bartering from some old vintage broke down uh, uh, exercise equipment that he had. And I ended up refurbishing some of it and was able to sell some of it, and I still have one piece out here. But he's just an old biker, that rode dirt bikes growing up. He was a truck driver, and he's old, he's in 70, and but since we moved here, he's got all these guys, these young, well, most of them are younger than me, living over there and renting. He's got a few houses over there. He calls them number one, number two, and number three, and he's got number one rented out to some guys that do things that I don't care to do anymore and live a lifestyle that I don't care to be around. And I want to be sober minded. I want to be strong in the Lord, and I'm not going to put myself in a situation or predicament to possibly use again or to drink again or whatnot, And I told him, I said, I love you, Dave. I love you. Don't ever think I don't, just because I don't come around. But I'm not going to be over there around a bunch of people doing things, criminal activity and whatnot. I just, it's not what I want to do, man. I want to center my life around God. I want God to be the center of my life. I love riding motorcycles. I love, I love two wheels, period, man. I just, there was a time maybe in my earlier years that I might have, patched up with somebody or something, but I'm patched up, man. I'm patched up for the glory of God, and I'm still going to continue to ride motorcycles and build motorcycles, and I'm trying to get this thing going. I'm working on that bobber now. I'm just waiting for the rigid tail to come in so I can weld it up, and it'll be my first bobber that I've ever built, first bike I've ever built, as far as like, rat rod, or, you know, first custom thing I've ever built pertaining to motorcycles. And I'm really excited, and I'm kind of nervous. And but with that being said, I wanted to give a shout out to my brother Simply Biking. I love the name Simply Biking. I believe I ran into you on Backroads Biker, uh, and that's been a few years ago now. Well, we've been here 3 years, and so maybe it's even closer to 3 years that I've been watching your channel. I quit watching Backroad Biker because, I like a lot of his content, but the whole getting the club started and all that, when he was doing that, man, I just, I wasn't. It's like my Christian brothers, they want me to join a Christian motorcycle club, an outlaw Christian motorcycle club. And I'm like, no. I don't want somebody telling me what kind of patch I can wear on my cut, or telling me, hey, you got to be here, you got to be there, you got to do this, you got to do that, clean my bike, all this stuff. And I have a hard enough time cleaning my own bike. But I'm just, and I don't mean to be, I don't mean to seem like a real tough, hard guy, I just, I want to be, I'm trying to be humble. I want to be more humble, and I just want to do what God wants me to do. I met a devil's disciple the other day. Been running around trying to figure out how to get this bike titled, okay? Because it didn't come with a title, so I finally got a hold of the guy. Well, actually, what I did is I went to this bike shop here in town, and I know that they build choppers and stuff. So, and I was early. The doors were still locked. Nobody was there. I was sitting out there, and this biker rode up, and he was a devil disciple from Arizona, and talking to that guy for 5 minutes showed me a lot. And it showed me that people need Jesus, man. And this guy must have been 60 years old. He said he had patched in with these guys, the devil's disciples, in 1986. And he even said, I'm old, But I'm just saying, people give their lives to stuff in this world that's not going to benefit them in the next, what's after this. So my channel is about motorcycles, because I love motorcycles. We want to get my daughter started on a little 50cc with training wheels, here, just as soon as we can, and get my daughter to ride motorcycles and stuff, and I have a cousin that has a bike shop up in Washington, but we don't get along because he's better than I am. I don't want to be better than anybody. I just want to be holy. I want to be a good person, integrate. I want to work. This world has kind of had the thumb on me where I can't really, I'm a felon. Now I'm on probation again. I just got a lot of stuff that, and I've been trying my hardest, man, for the last 10 years. I've been out of prison now 10 years. And I just really been trying to really walk a better example. And yeah, I fell into the world, and I was drinking and I was drugging a couple of times in the last 10 years. I kind of fell into the world and was even selling drugs there for a minute, and it's not who I want to be. I mean, I've had a lifetime of that stuff, you know, and God knows that I just want to do what God wants me to do. I strive to be, and today that's what I was trying to get at, man. See, I get sidetracked, but Dave came by and see me, and he was like, "Well, you know, what if I stop by around 10:30 or something sometime?" And I was like, "Right, we're in bed by then." He goes, "Well, you've stopped at my house at 10:30 at night." See, it's the example that people portray about you. What are you representing? And I'm telling me, what am I representing? Okay, because when I was drinking here 65 days ago, or 70 days ago, or whatever, you know, I would catch myself over there at his house. I mean, they're always up, you know, if you know what I mean. They're always up. But I'm just saying, you know, what we put in somebody else's mind about ourselves is crucial, because if you change and you don't go around them for a while, they're not going to know that you change. And this is a point that I try to make to people a lot of time. Is like, people don't really know me because I'm not around them. They don't know how I've changed or what steps I've taken to improve my walk with Christ, or any of that stuff, you know. And I don't want to be of the world. I don't. You know, I want to do what God wants me to do, man. I don't. That's what I'm striving for. Is to be an example to other people. And bikers, you know, there's a lot of people out here that are caught up in and they're going to hell because of the lifestyle that they've chosen. And I don't like that. And I don't want to represent that. And I've read the Bible, and I read the Bible. And I don't see, you know, a lot of people, they just don't read it, and they haven't read it. And they oh, God, you know, he's such a terrible, how could you believe in God? He kills whole towns and wipes them out and all this stuff. Well, yeah, there was good reason behind stuff like that. You got to read everything, man. You can't just take one little story out there and say, okay, well, this is the way God is. God is a gracious, good God. And you won't know that unless you read it and involve yourself in a relationship with God. That's why I don't like the word religion. I just don't like religion. I don't like that word, you know, because it kind of takes from relationship. And I'm more about relationship. And I just want to be able to help people along and by them seeing me on here. You know, what you see on here, what you see is what you get. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. But I do claim to be a godly man. And that's what I want to represent. I don't want somebody saying, well, you've been at my house at 10:30 at night and been there for hours, and no. You know, I don't want to drink. I don't want to drug. And I don't want to be around that lifestyle. And I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be. Nobody's making me do this. I could go right over there and get high, drink, and do what they do. I don't want that. You guys be blessed out there. I hope it helps somebody to hear that hears my video here that wants what I want, you know. And yeah, we can be Christian bikers. Got over everything. Jesus is king. Bye.